Okay, so you've probably gone through both the other pandas videos, so I'm going to add a few things. One of the things I want to talk about is reading from CSV files. CSV files are very common, and if you want to look at a CSV file, we can get to one here. This is a called the green.csv. This is information from one quarter from one zone in Manhattan, their taxi pickups. And as you can see, the first row has the column names, and then each row after that is just data that is separated by a comma. And that's a chunk of data, that's a chunk of data. Everything between the commas is a piece of data. Interestingly enough, this is in Notepad++. We can look at this in Excel as well. So you can create, edit, and save CSV files from Excel as well. So this is that same data in Excel, much more legible, but it is still the same data in Excel. What we're going to do is we're going to read that same file into into Python. So to read the file in, we just create a data frame, and we do a data PD, which is Python, and .read underscore CSV. We give the file name, and we say that there's no index column, and that if it's a missing value, it's just a blank value. And then we're going to look at the head, which is the first 5 records, which you should already know from the other previous tutorials. And then we're going to do describe, which will give some simple descriptive statistics from all the columns. So if we run that, let me move me out of the way. There we go. If we run that, it takes a while to read the data file because it's a big data file, but I wanted to show how that works in Python. The other 2 data files in the other 2 tutorials are very small data. I want to show why you're using pandas, because you use big data files. So this is the head. Notice that it doesn't do the whole columns because they can't all fit on the screen, so it abbreviates them here. Same thing with all the descriptive statistics here. So we're going to learn here about picking which columns we want to run data on. The other thing we can do is we can run, the cuckoo clock's going to go off for us. What time is it? Well, it's 6 o'clock. We get to hear the cuckoo for 6 times. So I have the information on the payment type, and I looked that up, so I have that. And as you can see, we read the data frame, do the head again, and then I do a crosstab. Crosstab takes 2 columns and does one across the top and one on the side, and does the counts of each value in there. It's similar to doing well, it's doing a crosstab. And so we are doing the passenger count with the payment type. And then we're making a new data frame. So we have 2 data frames we can work with. We have the taxi data frame, and then this much smaller crosstab data frame. And so I'll print that one out, and then I will change the column headings in the, because the crosstab data frame only has the numbers, these numbers in there as the values. We need to change those to something more legible, so I'm using to change the values of the columns, use the just columns command, and then I do the crosstab again. It'll make sense when you see it. And it runs, we sit here. Should have been doing that when the cuckoo clock was going off. There we go. So this is for the head there is there. Then we do the crosstab, and we print the crosstab out, and that is, let me see if I can get that pretty. There we go. That is this one here. You can see the crosstab is payment type, and this is passenger count. So payment type 1, passenger count 0. And you say, how can there be passenger count 0? Because taxis are used to like deliver lost luggage and things like that. So they do make trips that they're paid for that they don't have any passengers. So we have passengers 1 all the way up to passengers 9. Clearly it's a van, unless they're stuffing them in the trunk. And then across the top we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with payment type, and that's what I was talking about here. I'm adding labels to those. So now, and then we do the cross tab. It looks prettier. So we have credit card, passenger 0, cash, passenger 0 or 1, and as you can see, the vast majority of the taxi rides in this quarter, in this zone, where one person rides, either paying credit card or cash. So credit card's a little bit more, but not a lot more. And you can see that's the vast majority. I mean, the other ones don't even come close to those two. So most of the taxis in New York have one person in them, and the person is either paying with credit card or cash, and it's pretty much about the same. So we learned that by doing a crosstab. Crosstabs are really powerful tools to let you get a feel for your data. And if we look at the third one, I just wanted to notice, keep going, we'll run the whole thing. So we create the taxi data frame, we do the head, we describe it, and now I'm only selecting where payment type is equal to 2, which is cash, if you remember, and I'm making a new data frame. So we have the taxi data frame and the cash data frame, and I print that data frame and then I describe it. And this is what I was talking about earlier, where you can see that this is the whole row of all the data, and as you can see, there's the ellipsis in the middle saying that they didn't print it all out. And then here is the description. So this is the information only on the records that have 2 in the column payment type. All the other rows were thrown away. So when you don't get confused, you're picking on a column, but the value in that column is the one that is deciding which rows to keep. So it only keeps the one column and then picks just those rows. So there's the data that comes out we described from that. And again, it keeps the whole record, all the rows of that column, just selecting on that column which rows to keep. So that's one of the things you're going to be doing in your homework assignment this week. Hope it all makes sense to you.